President Obama prodding congressional leaders to finish their work on revamping financial regulatory reform. How close are they to reaching an agreement? Austan Goolsbee is a senior White House economic advisor. He joins us now from the White House with more. Austan, always great to see you. So what do you have to say to these Republicans claiming financial reg reform is a permanent bailout using taxpayer money?
Well, I got to tell you, I was pretty surprised to see the Republican leaders say that. I really honestly think they just handed him a kind of a GOP consultant's talking point. He never read the bill. The bill specifically forbids bailouts. It says that if a company gets in trouble, they have to fail. They can only be broken up and sold off. The management fired, the shareholders lose. They have to be wiped out. And I think that it was perhaps to cover up the fact that the position that they're taking is deeply unpopular with the American people. That the administration is trying to regulate derivatives, ensure consumer protection, and end too big to fail, and they're really siding with the bank lobbyists and trying to prevent that. Yeah,
speaking of the bankers, at the administration's request, are you seeing any indication that the banking industry is backing off its problems, its complaints about derivatives regulation, for example, and offering more of a compromise with the administration?
Not too much. You know, I now understand there are up to 5 lobbyists per member of Congress on this thing. I can't. It's disappointing. I don't think, in the end, I think there's going to be bipartisan support for financial reg reform that puts derivatives in the open market with transparency, trading on exchanges or through clearinghouses, and prevents the kind of catastrophic risks to the entire system that we just got through seeing.
Let me read you what the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, said on the earnings call this morning. Very important that derivatives reform be international, not hamper U.S. companies that are multinationals. He goes on, but the devil's in the details when it comes to ensuring liquidity and transparency. There should be room for end-use exemptions. Isn't that a fair request?
Look, that's perfectly. I am an admirer of Jamie Dimon. I think he does a good job. I can see why J.P. Morgan is one of the banks that's pushing, trying to have as many over-the-counter derivatives as possible. In these bills, there are some end-user exemptions. All of those are technicalities that can be worked out. But the fundamental nature that with these dark pools of derivatives that we know nothing about and that are unregulated, and that when things go wrong can blow up the entire financial system, like what happened with AIG, that has to stop. And if you're against correcting that problem, you're really on the wrong side of history on this one.
Austan, it's Julie here. You know, given the opposition that we have heard about, whether it be from the banking industry, from Republicans, whether it be about derivatives or other pieces of this legislation, how is the president so confident that he's going to be able to get financial regulatory reform done?
I think he's confident because if you just go look at the facts, this is a thing that almost everyone in the country agrees has got to be done. It's been more than 2 years since Bear Stearns. I mean, we've had a devastating economy.
Talk to me about sort of the nitty-gritty here, not just a big picture that it needs to get done philosophically, but how is he going to get it done? What negotiations are going to happen here? Is he going to have to give up any concessions to the Republicans?
What I would say is the time for backroom negotiations are done. We've got a bill. We're going to come to the floor of the Senate. If the Republicans want to oppose regulating derivatives and making them transparent, if they want to get up and have floor amendments that say, no, there shouldn't be any consumer protection, we shouldn't end too big to fail, we shouldn't have a bank fee to make the financial institutions pay for the mess that was created in the TARP, let them get up and try that. I think in the end, regardless of what party you're in, each member of Congress is going to get up and say, whoa, wait a minute. I don't care what the leadership says. I am not against this. I'm totally for it. We need to do this for the sake of the economy.
All right,
so I think the negotiations are done.
Appreciate your insight. Austan is a senior economic advisor.